The New Orleans Saints have a lot of problems coming up for them in the upcoming years and upcoming months, really. Before the season started, I think back in August or September, I made a video talking about how I don't think the Saints will be a playoff team within the next year or 2 years. And I was completely wrong about the 2020 season, but I was not completely wrong on, the hot take. I got a lot of hate for making the video. A lot of people said, how? And hindsight 2020, going into the 2021 offseason, and looking at the New Orleans Saints cap situation, which I'm sure all of you guys have heard of, with them being over $78 million, which means in order for them to play a game, they have to break that barrier, which seems almost impossible, but they have to. So, and today we're just going to be taking a deep dive into that and how it all works via the dead cap and the cap hit, who they would have to trade, who they can't get rid of, and their current situation. So right now, the active salary cap is close to $200 million. The projected salary cap for the 2021 season because of COVID and no stadium would be around 189,122,000. And it's a drop off, definitely for some teams like the Cowboys with the Dak Prescott situation, and obviously the New Orleans Saints, who every penny matters at this point. Their active contract is $267 million compared to that 189. The estimated going into the offseason would be around $70 million. And that's absurd. We look at the biggest cap hits, which would be Cameron Jordan at $18 million, Michael Thomas at $18 million as well, and Teron Armstead at about $16. That doesn't mean that's how much they're being paid. That's how much they are on a cap. So if they were to get released or traded, they would have a higher dead cap. Michael Thomas, for the 2020 season, made around $12 million. If he were to be cut, it would cost the Saints $23 million, and his cap hit is $18 million. That's just how the salary cap precisely works. So we look at their current free agents in the upcoming season: Teron Armstead, Ryan Ramczyk, Marshon Lattimore, Sheldon Rankins, Trey Hendrickson, and Marcus Williams. All will combine at around $100 million, which they're not going to be able to retain. We look at their big contracts like Cameron Jordan, Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, even Drew Brees, and even Janoris Jenkins, who made around $10 million with around $3 million in incentives, which created a total cap hit of around $15 million, which is insane for practically a number 3 corner in my eyes. So we look at those guys, even guys like Jared Cook, who have big cap hits. And you wonder how they're going to get rid of it. Obviously, the prime target would be a Michael Thomas trade. If Drew Brees retires, that would still only save them around $22 million, which seems like a lot. But when you're $78 million in debt and a $200 million cap space, it's gonna take a lot more than just Drew Brees retiring to save you there, to be 100% honest. And right now, they only have a dead cap of around $235,000, which means that the reason why they are so over the cap is because of active contracts, not dead cap space. So when you cut somebody that has guaranteed money, it still counts on your cap. That's what dead cap would be. So they didn't release a lot of players that had big contracts. They just signed a bunch of players and really didn't think about the future, kind of like the LA Rams. This is exactly what it's going to be. The Rams had to cut ties Jared Goff. We saw them trade Brandon Cooks, to cut Todd Gurley, cut Clay Matthews. The Saints are going to be in a serious rebuild from, I guess, starting in 2021, and this offseason is going to be very interesting with them. And when I made a video before the season started talking about how I won't think they like the playoffs, was based on their overall talent and the future cap projections. And I didn't think with teams like the Bucs and their division, and I thought the Panthers and Falcons were going to be better than they were. I also made videos on that. I did not think the Saints would make the playoffs. I thought they would be around a 8-8, 9-6, or 9-7, even a 10-6 team. But I didn't think, even with that very good record, they wouldn't make the playoffs, because I thought the Falcons were going to be a really good team, and the Bucs were a really good team, and I think everyone predicted that. But I thought the Saints would place 3rd or 4th in their division, honestly. And people could call me crazy, but I think a lot of other people did too. Going into the last season, everyone thought that Falcons team was going to be good, and if they didn't choke games, they would still be a 10-6 team. They would be a playoff team if they didn't choke games. So we often forget like how the business side of football, and so the Saints can easily get out of it, in my opinion. But it's going to take like I said, cutting ties with household names, Cameron Jordan, Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, and that's how you start. And can they trade them? Yeah. No matter if you trade them or cut them, you are going to take on dead cap, which means the next 2 years you're not going to be a very good team and you won't be able to sign free agents. It's almost like the Rams now. They cut a bunch of players and traded a bunch of players, but they still have a lot of dead cap, which means they really can't sign anybody, and they're still in cap problems 3 years after the scenario. But I think the Saints have a lot of shorter deals in a way, like Michael Thomas. A lot of free agents that they won't be able to retain, and a bunch of star players, in my opinion, and a bunch of breakout players like Trey Hendrickson, who had breakout seasons on a contract year. I just find it super hard for the Saints to have a future in the next 2 years. 2024, fresh salary cap, a bunch of young team utilizing their draft picks well. If Sean Payton's still there, we'll see. But thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below.